Jericho against Nick Gage in a no rules match. So I'm just going to read this. Okay. Gage used a pizza cutter to slice Jericho's right arm. Right off the bat, he sliced his arm. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was.
He just went.
Dope.
I don't know if that was supposed to happen, to be honest with you. But for a shoot, he sliced his arm with the pizza cutter.
You don't think Jericho took care of that himself?
I don't think so.
It kind of looked like he may have with Aubrey there for a second. Because Aubrey got right close with him. She had the glove on. He kind of.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, it almost looked like a little bit of. Yeah.
Maybe he did. All right. Jericho slice him up. Nikki slice him up, MJF yelled. They fought to ringside briefly, and back inside the ring, Gage performed a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Gage is not a good wrestler at all. Okay, right. He can't sell. He can't. He's just.
No, I
said.
Do, I said before when we were kind of doing a pregame here that he looked overmatched. He looked lost. He looked
100% nervous.
Yeah, he just
nervous.
He's just
his
not.
Eyes, you could see it was like wow.
And he's been around for 20 years. Other than his the time in prison, I saw him back in 1999 when he was starting out. And
he used to go to CZW, and I've seen him a bunch of times in 02 or whatever it was. I mean,
it was clear that without
his biggest crowd,
without waiting for he was just waiting for instructions. A lot of his wandering around, then he would go lean over, and Jericho would give him the next.
And the crowd wasn't really, I don't think, the right crowd for him.
No, it should have been Philadelphia.
They weren't. Yeah. He was trying hard to get him hyped up and play to him, and
let me finish this match here.
Yeah,
Jericho caught Gage going for a running boot and put him in a half crab, and Gage grabbed the ropes. There were no rope breaks. Gage used the ropes to break out of it, and they went back to ringside, and Gage pulled light tubes out from under the ring, which drew a big pop. Meanwhile, Jericho pulled out his baseball bat. Gage grabbed more light tube. Jericho hit Gage with the bat before Gage could use the tubes, and both men bled from the forehead. Gage pulled out a pizza cutter and raked it across Jericho's forehead, heading into the PIP. They're actually doing all this blood and gore during the PIP.
I know that was. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't.
That's what I was talking about.
Get your spot. Get your commercials out of the way before the main event.
That's my thing. I wish they didn't have commercials in the main event.
Gage continued to use the pizza cutter during the break, and he grabbed a light tube, but Jericho hit him before he could use it. Gage came right back and placed a chair over Jericho before dropping an elbow on it, and Gage slammed a chair over Jericho's back. Back to full screen, the broadcast team noted that Gage had a pane of glass in the ring. Gage placed the glass over two chairs and had Jericho's face under it, and Jericho, who's a bloody mess at this point, it was really disgusting to watch. I actually tweeted during the middle of this, Chris, what are you doing, Chris? Because I can't believe he's doing this.
Yeah,
it was a bit more than I thought.
Yeah, Jericho performed a hurricanrana and sent Gage crashing through the glass and drew loud a holy chance.
Looked good.
Jericho covered Gage for a 2 count, and Gage rallied and slammed light tube over Jericho's back and then slammed another over Jericho's head. Gage gave Jericho a pile driver onto some of the broken glass and covered him for near fall. Gage picked up a piece of broken light tube and jabbed it into Jericho's forehead. Gage grabbed 2 sets of 4 light tubes, and Jericho sprayed mist into the eyes of Gage and then slammed one of the 4 packs over his head, and Jericho hit the Judas Effect elbow and scored the pin. The finishing sequence was actually pretty good, and it got a pop. But let me tell you something. And then so the MJF comes out after the match and announces next week, after this disaster of a blood fest where he just next week he's got to wrestle Hoovy and he's got to beat him with a move off the top rope. I'm like, huh? It's like a weird thing, right? Because he can just do the hurricanrana off the top rope. It's not like he doesn't.
Yeah, he can
doing a
obviously
bunch of
do
moves
it.
off the top rope.
I was thinking super lion salt, but
now this crowd was live for good old school wrestling spots. They didn't need this match for that crowd.
Right.
They could have had a regular match with somebody else and just whatever. But I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say they got this shot of the crowd when when Nick Gage went through that big pane of glass. And the glass exploded, and they showed the crowd. That girl's eyes was huge, and then she had glass on her shirt.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised.
Touching her arm.
Yeah, she was genuinely like, "What the?"
Yeah, it was very dangerous. Imagine
definitely.
If the glass had got in somebody's eye.
Right. I don't think that they were really ready for all that.
They're not thinking about. I don't know why. First of all, the wrong people at TNT are watch. This is 2 weeks in a row they've done blood and gore in the main event.
Yeah, it was a bit much. I mean, I liked it, but it was a bit much. And I was surprised TNT allowed that to happen. Yeah, I thought Jericho got a little too bloody, but I was more surprised TNT didn't blur anything or make it black and white or, something like that. But yeah, it was a bit much for Jericho for sure. I don't want to see him in that kind of situation.
I just love that they're following that up with Hoovy Juice.
Yeah,
After
Bring
20
back
years,
the juice. Bring back the juice.
See, when this first started, I thought it was just going to be all the Pinnacle guys because it started with Spears in the chair.
That's what I thought.
It was going to be a 2-on-1 tag match against
why not
those
use
guys,
the
and then
6'3" bodyguard Wardlow to kill the guy?
then against Wardlow, and then you got MJF, and instead they're just playing like Jericho's greatest hits. Essentially.
And someone said maybe it's Chris's like retirement tour. Maybe he's all right. Let me get these guys.
I'm going to see him in September 23rd, I believe, in Indianapolis to see Fozzy. So I think he may be losing to MJF and getting his kicked in a big way, and maybe.
How many of these mystery matches does he have? 5. So he has 2 more.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Well, the next week
the
is
5th.
3. The next week is 3, so he's got 3 left.
So there's 6.
No,
technically, I think isn't MJF the 6th technically, or is he the 5th?
I thought he was the 5th.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but other than Hoovy, there's 2
more.
Other than Hoovy, there's
Hoovy
2.
and 1 more.
So that's what I'm saying. People are like, who could they bring in? People are like, wow, what did they do? Ultimo Dragon,
That's who I was hoping for.
Or I was thinking they just dust off Big Show because those guys were tag partners. Oh, here's the Big Show to take him out. Like that.
Disco Inferno.
Disco could come out. That's right.
Yeah, it would be a good one.
Those guys.
That would be great.
Except, unfortunately, as I was going through the book, the list of Jericho, the 30-year list, Disco's record against Jericho is 0-17. So, I mean, there's really not a point.
He's due.
He is due.
Top 10 opponent, though. He's on his
top 10. He is a top 10 opponent, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I would love to see Ultimo Dragon, though. He was always one of my favorites.
He still goes. He wrestled in Derby, PA, like 2 years ago. So
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I always loved his gear, man.
Yeah, Dragon.
All right, so that was AEW. I thought the show wasn't that bad. I didn't like that last segment. That opening 10-man tag was well done.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.